This is really gonna bust up some fucking people, and they're just gonna be, the tears are gonna flow.
I don't care what anybody says.
Go on, lay it on me, roast me.
I'm more of a positive guy.
Yeah, I have an unpopular opinion here.
Height.
One hot take that will definitely send people after me to revoke my metal card.
It's other shit.
Ja, bare en gang bunke lort.
I mean, fucking hell.
Stop that bullshit.
This one I like.
Kiss is like for 7 or 9 years old.
It's an opinion. We all have them. We all like different things.
If you still can't take it, you know what we say at the Merciful Metal channel. Bye.
Welcome to the 10th and last Hot Takes and Unpopular Opinions video. In these videos, we look at your hot takes and unpopular opinions, and we have a bit of fun while sticking it to the people who think that their opinions are the ones that everybody else should have, because that's a load of garbage. Let's have a look at your hot takes. This one is going to be tough. This is going to send a lot of music fans home to their mamas crying like little babies.
I like Nickelback. I don't know what the big issue is. Yes, they started off really heavy, but they always had commercial songs. And yes, they had a couple commercial songs that were more ballady and made it big. That's the goal of a band, is to sustain themselves, to show diversity, and and to be able to break into it. And I think they've done that quite well. If you listen to just the songs on the radio is going to play all the light songs, Photograph and stuff like that. You plop the album on, you're not getting a lot of that. You're getting a couple songs that are radio airplay songs, and you're getting a lot of balls to the wall heaviness. And I think Nickelback has stuck to their guns on the majority of the songs that they tend to still be on the heavier side, and then they've got middle of the road songs and they've got lighter songs. But the diversity of the band is what I appreciate. And people say, it's a cookie cutter sound, and yeah, I don't care. I like the sound. I think they've stayed somewhat consistent. I mean, they have varied a little bit and here and there, but for the past 10, 15 years, you know to expect a couple radio ballads, a couple middle of the road quirky songs, and a bunch of heaviness. And I think that album after album, I'm pleased, and I enjoy the listen from start to finish. It's a journey, a little bit of style change here and there, but overall, I think they're consistently edgy like I expect them to be. And so I like Nickelback. Hate me if you like.
That's right. You can be a true rock fan and like Nickelback. To me, it seems that the rule is that true rock fans hate Nickelback and casual listeners like Nickelback, which is kind of a dumb rule in the first place. I've only heard one Nickelback album from beginning to end, I think, and I didn't hate it. I don't think it was as bad as people say it is. It was kind of boring, though, and harmless to me. And the lyrics were dumb, but it wasn't like a catastrophe that people make Nickelback out to be. And yeah, Megajeff is a good example of someone who actually likes some Nickelback output, while at the same time being a true rock fan, because he likes a lot of different, like, straight up rock music and metal and so on and so forth. And if you get mad at Megajeff for liking Nickelback, I think you have some kind of problem, to be perfectly honest. He can like whatever he likes. So kudos to Megajeff for openly stating his love of this Nickelback album. Up next, we have another hot take that will drive people insane. It's Tabasco Thomas himself from the Merciful Metal channel, and he has something to say about Lemmy.
Lemmy is not that great either. I gotta say, I'm coming around on Motorhead. Right now, I'm getting into Iron Fist, really enjoying that. The debut is cool. It's the only Motorhead album I have so far, because it does not click to me as it does to other people. I mean, Motorhead, legendary band. What can I say about fucking Motorhead? Influenced so many bands essential for heavy metal. Lemmy just doesn't work for me. And this is one of these cases where you really gotta watch out not pissing off the boomers. Because you can't say anything bad about Lemmy. Lemmy is God. You know, it can happen that people just don't like it, right? He's not some kind of magical, universally liked vocals. It just, some people just don't like it. This is one of these bands that seems like you just can't say anything bad about it, or you're not real metalhead, or this kid doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, I have my own opinion. I'm not gonna explain to fucking full-grown adults what an opinion is. Lemmy, just not a good vocalist. When I imagine a good vocalist, I imagine like Jeff Tate, Rob Halford, or one of my favorites is Christian Augustin from the French band Sauvage. He is fucking 10 out of 10. Those are good singers. Lemmy perfectly fits with this style of music. That's the whole fucking point why it works. I just don't like the vocals that much. He perfectly fits that gritty speed metal rock and roll vibe. It just works, but I just don't like it as much. It sounds like he's trying to blow the last air out of his lungs before dying after smoking cigarettes for 100 years. Especially when there are songs where there's like harmonic vocals, like double layered vocals of his voice. It sounds just like a Muppet choir. It's kind of laughable. Here's another bonus hot take. The whole like high mic stand, singing, not wanting to look at the audience. I think that's so fucking lame.
Yeah, he basically compared Lemmy to a Muppet. Full disclosure, I never got into Motorhead. I don't have anything against them. They never clicked with me. I was in a thrash band back in the day. The bass player was a huge Motorhead fan, and he would, let me borrow a lot of Motorhead CDs, and I would listen to them, and it never clicked with me. The only song that kind of clicked with me was America, and I understand that to be a kind of an unusual Motorhead song. In my case, it's nothing to do with the vocals. I actually don't know why it didn't click with me. And maybe, as I haven't really put any effort into getting into Motorhead for a long time, maybe there's some songs out there you would recommend that I could give another listen. Maybe there's a playlist, whatever. I'd be happy to follow up on that for sure. But yeah, I mean, Lemmy, he has a very unique singing style, but he probably isn't the most, or sorry, wasn't, rest in peace. He probably wasn't the most technically proficient singer. So I can definitely see why some people who would think he's a bit of an overrated singer. I think the big problem that Thomas kind of points to here too is more like all the Motorhead fans who get angry at you for not liking Lemmy's singing style. Come on, that's dumb. If somebody doesn't like Lemmy's singing style, that's fine. Don't get mad at it. Just ignore it. Listen to a Motorhead song instead. I mean, music fans are so thin-skinned these days. Maybe they've always been like that. I don't know, but it's kind of embarrassing. So there you go. Thanks to Tabasco Thomas, Choir of Muppets. Okay, next, this is going to be a little bit different. Now, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is kind of a big deal in, the rock and roll or rock music industry, I would say. But it seems strange. Bands that get inducted and the bands that don't get inducted. Does seem strange. And Christian Osorio has something to say about this. Check this out.
One thing that really, really bothers me, and it was kind of a thing here at least here in Chile, and I think in most countries in South America, is about the latest nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the 2025 Hall of Fame nominees. That it was announced a couple of days ago, I think maybe a week ago. Going through the list, it's kind of a meager one. A meager one is kind of weak. To me, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is it's just a business. Someone had the clever idea to create this thing many years ago in Cleveland. I don't know if Cleveland is a big music pocket or market over there in the States, or this town has a special meaning in modern music, but I would imagine the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame would be in, I don't know, New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, or even Seattle. I don't know, but not in Cleveland. And of course, we have seen in previous years how they have been very unrespectful with many rock acts that have been inducted, like Priest, that have been inducted on a technicality because they were on the ballot and they were not elected, so they induct them with a special treatment, so they kind of not get into the Hall of Fame using the big door, but they were inducted with a special treatment to them. And also a couple of years ago we saw Sheryl Crow being inducted, and the guy that was giving the speech or playing the band or playing as a band was Peter Frampton, a guy that I think is more important, is more influential than Sheryl Crow, but he has not been inducted in that year, but unfortunately he was inducted I think last year. We also have seen some other questionable nominations from this organization. The nominees for this year, I think you have seen, we have some good ones, some questionable, and one that's created at least a lot of waves here, a lot of trolling, a lot of joking, and even insults. It's a band from Mexico. Maybe the Hall of Fame thinks that Mexico is everything for us here who speaks Spanish. And trust me, this band Maná, let's put it in a very polite word, it's utter shit. They are a talentless band. Of course, they have a shit ton of records. Their music is bland, is lame, it's boring, it's kind of rockish, AOR, popish, very melodic, very lame. Well, it's awful. Trust me, there are a lot of better bands here in South America, and I think, and I also think in Mexico that I think they deserve being in this Hall of Fame before this awful band. Please, if you have the stomach and you have the guts, please look after this band. Spell M-A-N-A with an accent, or try look at for Maná, a Mexican band, and please try to listen to one or two of their biggest songs, and you will I think you will be, and you will agree with my thoughts about this band. This is no way they should be here even in the ballot. Being in the ballot, I think it's a big insult to all of us who speaks and understands what this band is singing about. Trust me, this is way too much for us.
Now, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame doesn't really mean anything to me. I rarely think about it. To me, it seems like it's not based on the love of the music, but it's more like an industry thing. So I don't really bother with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It is true, it seems weird, the bands that get inducted and the bands that don't get inducted. And I can definitely see that, okay, if you want a South American band in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I can see why that's kind of offensive and insulting to a lot of people from South America. If you just pick the first Mexican band you can think of, nothing against Mexico or Mexican bands, there's a huge scene of fantastic rock bands in Mexico, so you could have picked one of those instead. But I can see why that's insulting to pretty much everybody from South America, because it's a huge part of a continent with a lot of different nations and cultures and music scenes. And you got so many countries, like, Mexico, which is technically part of North America. But you got, Mexico, Peru, Chile, Argentina, and so on and so forth. You got countries that don't even speak Spanish, like Brazil. And of course, you have lots of communities that speak indigenous languages, and I'm sure they have really good rock bands in some of those communities. So I can definitely see why the choice to induct a band that, from what Christian says, isn't even a good band. Induct that in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and then go, yes, there we've represented the uh, Latin community or whatever. I can see why that's insulting. Definitely. So thanks for that take on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Okay, here's another hot take that will drive people absolutely crazy with rage. It has to do with Alice in Chains and the singers in Alice in Chains. And this is courtesy of Josh Keach.
Alice in Chains. This is The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here, and this is the second album that featured William Duvall instead of the late Lane Staley. I think that Alice in Chains is better without Lane Staley. And don't get me wrong, this album is fantastic. Dirt, it's a great album. Musically, I think it's probably their best album. But Lane Staley's vocals just lets it down for me, to be honest. I just don't like his vocal style. It's just too whiny and for me. I just don't like his vocals. They're great on me, to be honest, and that's really the only thing that lets this album down. I feel like if they were to re-record this with William Duvall, I think it would be absolutely fantastic. I think it would make the album a lot better. But yeah, that's really the only Alice in Chains album with Lane on it that I actually like. Granted, I've not actually listened to the whole of Facelift, but the self-titled album I don't think's that great. But this, on the other hand, I think musically might not be as good as Dirt, but I think vocally it's a lot better, because I think Jerry Cantrell is a better vocalist. And yeah, William Duvall is a great vocalist as well.
Yeah, what's that? What's that? Bunch of grunge fans crying. I can hear that. Hey, if Josh Keach likes the new guy better, he likes the new guy better. There's no rule that says that you have to prefer the original singer to be a good Alice in Chains fan. I've heard people say that, but it's a dumb rule if it is a rule. So I get it. If anybody likes the current singer better, it's fine. I saw them live with the current singer at the Copenhagen Festival a couple of a lot of years ago now, and I think it was pretty good. He did a good job, actually. So yeah, there you go. Hot take on Alice in Chains. Now, Mayhem, they are one of the most notorious black metal bands, and that of course means that a lot of fans have strong opinions on them. And it seems that there are certain albums you're supposed to like and certain albums you're supposed to dislike. Now, Rusty Darlington is going to throw a huge wrench in that wheel. Check this out.
De Mysteris Dom Satanis is not Mayhem's best album. Don't get me wrong, I love that album. It's absolutely iconic, as in terms of black metal, in terms of true Norwegian black metal, and just anything that sounded raw or sounds rough. It's such an influential album, it's so famous, it holds so much history. But in my personal opinion, the best Mayhem album is Chimera from 2004. Going through all their discography a little while ago, this was great fun to listen to. I had listened to this album before the ranking, so I knew how good it was. But yeah, just listening to all of them really honed in that Chimera is Mayhem's best album. It doesn't have the raw production that De Mysteris has. It still sounds rough. It's obviously still black metal, but it doesn't sound as backyard done as De Mysteris does. Obviously, Attila's not on this for vocals. This is done by Maniac, and it sounds amazing. The tone on this is so dark, it's heavy, it's low. It's not as low and muddy as Auto Ad KO. That's a really terrible sounding album, but just honestly, if you haven't heard this album and you deem to be yourself a Mayhem fan, go listen to it and you'll see what I mean. Whore is a great opening song. I love the little before it goes in. My Death is great. Rape Humanity with Pride is awesome. Slaughter of Dreams is awesome. Chimera, the title track. It's a quick album. It's only 8 songs, but honestly, I wouldn't say it blows away De Mysteris, but I do prefer listening to this one a lot more than I do De Mysteris.
So there you go. That's your world shattered. Personally, Mayhem, it's one of those bands I checked out, I listened to them. They just don't do it for me. I used to have some of their albums, listen to them frequently. Didn't click with me. Saw them live, kind of boring to me. So yeah, I don't really have a strong opinion on that album, but you know, you can like whatever you like from Mayhem's discography. You can dislike whatever you dislike from their discography. Again, why are music fans so thin-skinned that they get riled up over someone not liking a particular Mayhem album or someone liking a particular Mayhem album? Come on, man, grow up. And the same thing goes for death metal. One of the most notorious death metal bands, that's Cannibal Corpse. And again, there are albums you're supposed to like and albums you're supposed to dislike. Now, this time, it's Stormwind 79 throwing a huge wrench into that wheel. Check this out.
This album, The Bleeding by Cannibal Corpse, don't worry, I like it, but it's not in my top 5 Cannibal Corpse albums. Again, shock horror. Like, I've heard so many people say over the years, and especially on YouTube, that this is their absolute favorite Cannibal Corpse album. I've even heard members of the band say that, and I think even Chris really likes it as well. Look, it's a great album, and I really do like it. This has great nostalgic quality for me because I discovered it when I was in high school and everything, but I just happen to like other albums more. So this album is by no means bad in any respects, but there are 3 small criticisms I have of it. Like, I know the band say they like the production on this, and Chris said that too. Like, I like the production of the bass, but I think this album sounds very thin in terms of the production, and the drum sounds weak. Not because of Paul Mazurkovich's playing, but just the way the drums are produced. The snare is really weak and tinny. There's just no meatiness to the drumming. And also, like, the way Chris's vocals are produced on this album, they sound a bit dry to me, you know, in comparison to the previous 3, which are absolutely awesome. Yeah, so it's like a thin sounding album with dry vocals, and then there are just some songs which I don't get into and I find a little bit boring, like Return to Flesh, but overall I do like the album, but it's just not in my top 5. As I said, most people say this is their number 1 Cannibal Corpse album.
There you go, crybabies. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any strong opinion on Cannibal Corpse because I don't really like Cannibal Corpse in the first place. I know, poser, wimp. I've listened to them so many times and they don't do anything for me musically. So there you go. But if you like Cannibal Corpse, I think that is great. If you prefer Chris Barnes' Cannibal Corpse, I think that is great. If you prefer Corpse Grinder Cannibal Corpse, I think that's great too. If you have certain albums you like and you don't like, that's great too. Why would people have a problem with it? Or rather, why do people have a problem with it? It's so weird to me. So, but there you go. Another rule busted, this time by Stormwind 79. And the very last hot take in these videos. If you want to see more hot takes, check out the playlist where you have the full videos by all the participants in the contest who did videos. Check out the playlist and you can see their full videos and all their hot takes. The last one, this time we're going to make some punk rockers cry. This has to do with the legendary The Clash album, London Calling. This is Tommy from Tommy's Vinyl Knot. What does he have to say?
Clash, London Calling. I know pretty many people think this is the best punk rock album forever. I think this is boring album. I was thinking to buy it as a LP, because I think it was a double album, but luckily I found this one with price of €2 or something, and I tried to listen it. I'm not sure did I listen even it through. London Calling, yes, it's good song. Guns of Brixton, Brand New Cadillac, and that's it. Half the songs away, and maybe this could be better album.
Oh boy, now I hear a lot of punk rockers cry. But you know what? Although it's a classic, if you don't like it, you don't have to like it. So there you go. I guess the kind of theme of this particular video is really like, why are music fans so thin-skinned? Why are they so entitled in a way? I mean, why are they so childish? Grow up. We like what we like. We don't like what we don't like. That's the end of the story. Instead of getting pissed off, just listen to your favorite artist instead and have a good time. In the next video, we will draw a winner of this contest. Thanks for watching.
It's warm here.
This album. All the Slipknot fans always talk about this album being the best thing they've ever done, and everything else sucks, and you know, this is all you need, this is the best thing they've ever done, and you're not a true Slipknot fan if you don't like this album. Well, I don't. I love Slipknot and I don't like this. I honestly just don't think this album is as good as everyone thinks it is. There's a couple of great tracks like Sick and Eyeless, Surfacing. Get This, I think is really cool as well. But for the most part, I just think this album's not. It doesn't do it for me, to be honest. A lot of the songs are sort of got that like new metal meets like industrial metal going on. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of that. Honestly, this is my era of Slipknot. This is my favourite era of Slipknot when they done these albums, Volume 3 and All Hope Is Gone. These two albums are a million times better than that, honestly. I've always thought that. I love these two albums. They're absolutely brilliant. I never really felt like this album is as good.